good. Let's get to it. Let's get
So,
to it, brother.
all right. So we're gonna talk about this Mortal Kombat movie. My lord. So in the trailers, it looked
No!
like it was gonna be.
No! God! No!
Keep going. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's
I'm
appropriate.
upset. I'm upset.
In the trailers, it looked like it was gonna be so good. It's like I am Sub-Zero, you know. You're seeing the get over here. You're seeing the, and then I watched it,
I
guys.
didn't think so. I thought the trailers looked pretty mediocre also.
I
But
I
continue.
I
Continue.
was hopeful. I was hopeful. Okay, I was hopeful. But the thing is that they butchered the lore. The lore is not there. They took the lore and flipped it on its head. I'm already upset. And then the fights are mediocre at best for a Hollywood movie. So what happened?
Brother, third law of the universe, said Mama Doom.
Wait, their law.
I don't know what the third law of the universe is. I think he's gonna elaborate on that response in a little bit. But either way, brother, I was I was I was already mildly disappointed by the trailers. I was already like thinking like, all right, it's gonna be, you know, a little too serious. It looked like they sucked a lot of the campiness out of it, which I didn't understand from the trailers because the games are campy. The games are kind of goofy, despite there being blood soaking everywhere and brutal fatalities. The games have their campiness.
Yeah.
Um, I already noticed that from the trailers, but once I watched it, I realized that all the parts that probably would have surprised me during the movie were already in the trailers. We already saw
Mm-hmm.
Jax's arms get ripped off. We already saw Sub-Zero freezing the bullet. We already saw what was the other one? We saw Goro already. We saw all the characters. Like there was no surprises during the movie. That's my one biggest problem with the movie. Um Secondly, yeah, like you said, the lore was butchered. Which in some cases I'm okay with them changing the lore if it helps the movie make more sense. But in this case, they made it make less sense with the birthmarks thing or whatever. Oh, that's not a birthmark. It's an invitation. How, Sway? How? And I guess they
Oh,
used that. The only thing I could think of why they added that is because maybe they thought that somebody was gonna find the plot hole. Like, hey, if there's a tournament to save the Earth, why are we picking people nobody knows? Why don't we go get The Rock, Hulk Hogan, people that really are on TV and fighting, like Mike Tyson and yeah, like why isn't Mike Tyson chosen for the tournament if he can knock heads off and he does it on TV all the time, right? Oh no, you
yeah,
need you
exactly.
need that invitation. So all right, I get what they probably were trying to avoid, that plot hole of like, hey, there's definitely way stronger people in MMA, in UFC. Why aren't we picking them to go fight Goro or whatever? Oh, because they don't have the invitation or whatever. Okay, all right, whatever. But then you have Sonya who didn't get the birthmark, and then she's like, oh, the boys won't let me play, and I felt like there was trying to be some kind of sense of
You
what
know
it,
what you want to say.
there was some sense of like, all right, this is what's the word? I don't even know the terminology for it.
SJWism.
Yeah, there was like some social what is it? Social I don't
Social Justice Warriors.
yeah, social justice warrior isms in the movie to have but you're saying that your movie like do you get the birthmark from lineage and from killing somebody that had the birthmark first, then it's not about that she's a girl that she can't fight. So why does the movie present it that way? It doesn't make a lot of sense, and I don't know. That was kind of
The,
unnecessary.
the thing that got to me was that I it wasn't only that. It was also it was that the whole like, oh yeah, boys won't let me play thing. And then they also try to cake on, oh god, it was one of the directors that said that the reason that Johnny Cage was not in this movie was because it was gonna be a diverse movie, and having such a loud personality that's white would get in the way of the movie.
You're kidding me. He actually said that? You're kidding me.
Yes, I'm Prime series.
That's dumb.
I can get the link for that, by the way.
That is dumb. That's dumb. That is dumb. Like the Mormon episode of South Park. That's dumb.
They're apparently him for the sequel. So they sacrificed an initial movie for a sequel.
And this is the excuse I'm getting from people, because of course I work in a podcast studio. I hear people review movies all the time here, and the excuse I hear people giving are like, "Oh, it's just setting up for the sequel. It had to be the way it is because it's the origins, and they got to set up for the sequel." Bro, I've seen dozens of origin movies that one are good, and two set up the sequel perfectly.
Can't do it the whole way.
Before I didn't even want to say anything because I didn't want to lose my train of thought. Spider-Man, the 2001 Spider-Man movie, it set up for sequels. It still was a good movie. You don't have to sacrifice your movie by having Easter eggs everywhere and then saying, "Oh, the first one can't be good because it has to set up a whole universe." No, you could set up a whole universe and still make a good freaking movie. Come on, what are you talking about?
Look at the Dark Knight trilogy.
The Dark Knight, every movie that has an origin. Like, no, you could set up sequels without butchering the origin movie. Get out of here. That's
the
a
Dark Knight
stupid
trilogy.
excuse.
The reason people, and this is something that we were talking about when we were talking about the Justice League movie, that both Justice Leagues kind of help each other, alleviate the problem. But the Dark Knight trilogy really presents the landscape for modern presentation of sequels. And then you layer to that video game lore, and it's simple. If you're a director, and a producer, all you have to do is say, okay, this is a interactive media. The lore is there. Okay, whereas if we make a movie, the interactive aspect is no longer a thing. So here's the lore. So what do you do with the non-interactive space, right? That's there. Simple. Cake the lore in. Cake it. Funnel it in. It will fill itself. There's so many games with lore in it that the sequel will come because there's already lore made for it.
Bro,
you don't have.
I feel like simply enough, if they would have, the original movie sets up for a sequel. If you watch the 1990s Mortal Kombat movie, when you get to the last scene, Shao Kahn shows up and they're like, "Oh, you killed my worker Shang Tsung. Guess what? Now you gotta fight me." Boom, credits. That's how you set up for a sequel. They did it in 1 minute. Come on.
And it wasn't that good of a movie in terms of like production, but at least they tried. That was back when they didn't have any idea how to make,
Hey Amanda, what's up? But bro, you don't need to layer Easter eggs all over your movie like, "Oh wow, did you see Katana's fan behind Raiden? Did you see a picture of Nightwolf in the newspaper?" You don't need all that crap, man. Nobody notices. The only people that notice is the people on Watch Mojo. Come on, man, get out of here. Like, what is wrong with you?
We're not speaking about it in a spoiler format, by the way, other than the Johnny Cage comment.
The other thing I hear people saying is like they like the fights. And I'm like, how did you like the fights? How? What fight did you like? You liked that one time they did a fatality, and oh my god, they did a fatality.
And then they offed that individual a minute later.
Bro, everything else was already in the trailers as far as fatalities go. We already saw.
You watched it 2 days ago.
We already saw most of the fatalities in the trailers, and that one fatality that Sin's talking about with Razor Bucket guy, what's his name?
Kung Lao.
Kung Lao. Right? The fight itself was whack. Like, she flew through the air and boom, 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 boom. I don't even want to give the whole thing away, but god damn it, like, it wasn't even a good fight. Just because he did a fatality at the end, oh my god, this was awesome. It was a good fight. It was not a good fight, bro. Like, it was whack. The whole thing was whack. The fights were whack. The fatalities weren't well shot. They weren't done at an angle where it looks like how the game is when the game shows you a fatality and like you see their bones breaking and you see their skulls opening. Like, they didn't do that in the movie. They were fighting. They were just spraying blood everywhere. It's like if I punched you and then somebody took a red bucket of paint and threw it. Like, oh my god, look at all that blood. Like, bro, get out of here. What are you talking about, man?
I thought it was gonna be cool because when I saw Sub-Zero freeze up the blood and then use it as a, I thought that was in the trailer. I thought it was gonna be great. And all of a
That
sudden
was
it's just
good.
like, oh,
That's what I'm saying. The good stuff was in the trailer. Everything good was in the trailer. The Jax breaking Jax's arms was in the trailer. You don't need to show that to us, bro.
but they ruined it. They just ruined it. There was nothing in the movie that made me think like, and they had the budget too. So that's what kills me in my mind.
I think maybe there was something with the pandemic because if you watch the whole movie, you'll see that there's no scenes with crowds. Maybe in the fight club that they go to, it looks like there's a crowd, but if you really think about it, they probably filmed those two things separately, like inside the cage and outside the cage, because the rest of the movie is barren. You'll see there's like 5 characters on the screen at a time, and maybe that's it. All the scenery was either deserts, trailer parks, empty arenas, like
Deserts with the saturation turned all the way down.
yeah, bro, like maybe this movie's a victim of the pandemic and I'm being too harsh on it. But
No. So what movie was better, Godzilla versus Kong or Godzilla versus Kong was a billion times better. Let me tell you.
Godzilla vs. Kong was better. I'm not a super fan of it either, but it was better than Mortal Kombat.
They had people around, standing around.
Yeah. Godzilla vs. Kong was better than Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is worse than the old Mortal Kombat movies because it's boring. It's not a horrible movie. It's definitely watchable and it's fine. Like, it's probably fine. It's middle of the road. Like, it's just okay. And that's the worst thing a movie can be because then you can't even make memes about it. Then you can't even like make fun of it with your friends while you're drunk. It's like it's forgettable. You'll forget the whole thing. Watch. It's gonna be like nobody even remembers it. It's like the RoboCop remake. Who remembers that RoboCop got a remake like 5 years ago? Does anybody remember that? No, nobody remembered it because it took all the campiness out of it. Like RoboCop is supposed to be a campy, corny robot. Drop that gun, sucker. You're under arrest.
And you sell it with that premise. Yeah.
It was good because it was kind of stupid. Like,
is it worse than Annihilation? Yes.
It's worse because it's boring. It's boring. Annihilation, we can make fun of it.
Listen, you can at least with Annihilation go, well, they didn't have the budget and the CGI looked crap. They were trying. They were trying.
Buddy.
And the lore was there.
Buddy, Annihilation had so many memes. It's just funny to watch. And it was glorious. Or when Sindel says, now you will die. Or Raiden getting the haircut. He got this haircut that I got right now. He shows up mad happy with the vest and everything. He's like, hey, what's up, combat fighters? Like, yo, there's so much funny stuff in Arcana, the Arcana thing from the new movie. What? How did Jazz get robot arms from Arcana? How did he get robot arms and circuitry and all this stuff from Magic? How? That's
Wait, what?
stupid. That's stupid.
You remember the Predator remake? You know what's funny about the Predator remakes? They took out the fear of those.
I don't think those are remakes though. Aren't they like sequels? There's like in the distant future.
Oh crap! Yeah, you're right.
I don't think those are remakes.
My thing is, if you're gonna reintroduce an old franchise, you have to reintroduce it with what the premise was in it originally, and you have to do your research. Because okay, back then it might have been an action something, but with nostalgia glasses, we look at it as a fearful thing or as a very action-driven, depending on the movie, of course. Like for example, Predator, we think of it back as a back then it was an action movie. But now looking on it back, it should be a fear movie because it's like it's something you don't understand. Yeah.
It was a suspense movie.
Suspense, yeah.
It looks like an action movie because it has Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it's really a suspense movie.
And that's what it should have been. But then you see the new one, and it's like they're just like popping jokes, like the Predator is supposed to be funny or something, and then the Super Predator comes along, and they're like, "Oh, the old Predator can't stand up to it." It's like, well, why you guys are cracking jokes? Like that thing just killed the thing that you were already afraid of. What's happening? Okay, whatever.
I don't know, but this Mortal Kombat movie is probably the worst kind of movie because it's forgettable and it's boring, and it doesn't have good actors. It doesn't have well, I take that back. The guy that played Cole is actually a really good actor in other movies and stuff that he's in. Everyone else, meh. Raiden sounded horrible. Actually, Scorpion's actor was good. That guy's
Yeah,
good in
yeah.
everything. That Japanese guy, they always get him to be a samurai and everything.
Why does Shang Tsung look like a homeless man?
Shang Tsung, I feel like that actor could have done better, but maybe he just wasn't given the right materials to do so.
Why did Melina look like a homeless girl?
Maybe all the actors could have done better if they were given a better script. Everything that came out their mouths just sounded ridiculous. Everything.
And they were serious about it too. They were dead serious about it.
I liked Kano. I did like Kano. Like I said, I like humor. I like that he was funny. You know, he was like, "Yo, don't do that Harry Potter stuff on me, bro." When he saw Liu Kang doing fireballs, and he said, "None of that Harry Potter stuff, all right?" And then,
Liu Kang should have been the protagonist. The protagonist sucks balls, by the way.
Liu Kang should have been the protagonist. I don't. Maybe they didn't want to retread the same movie, because if they would have made the movie according to lore, they probably would have ended up making the same movie, because the original movie stays pretty close to the lore. The original movie, I say, the only part that kind of strays from the lore is having Sub-Zero and Scorpion be on the same side together, fighting together.
So that's a conundrum, because you have something like the Tomb Raider movie, where it was essentially the game verbatim, and that didn't essentially work fully. Like, it was still a good movie, but it wasn't.
It was
rememberable. It was
forgettable. It was forgettable.
Now,
Tomb Raider's
so what
kind of
do
like
you
this
do?
movie.
Do you shoehorn in the lore, or do you cake it on? And I always say it's cake it on. Don't just concise it down to one part of the lore. Expand on it. If you ever met a Legend of Zelda movie, the way to get around the whole non-interactive is just throw all that crap in. Like, don't just go like, oh, we're gonna hone in on Scorpion and Sub-Zero's story. Yeah, that's it. It's like, and then a little bit of Liu Kang and Goro, a little bit of that. It's like, no, just throw all of it in. Just throw it. we will remember.
Let's talk about the main character real quick, since you brought up Scorpion. And I'm gonna spoil the movie for you guys. I don't even care. The main character is supposed to be a descendant of Scorpion, and I'm trying to think what was the point of making a original character for the movie that's not in the games. So he's just like what, a UFC fighter, or MMA fighter, and then he gets what happened? I don't even remember how he met up with Sonya and all of them.
I don't remember either. The only thing is not supposed to be
Jax went to his fight and was talking to him. He should have been Takeda. He should have been Takeda. That would have been good. He looks like Takeda. But
my thing is that it's a creative character. That's what it is.
He is a creative character. He's supposed to be the person that gets explained the universe. All the characters explain the universe to. That way the audience knows the universe. He's supposed to be a representation of the audience. So making him Scorpion's descendant and then giving him like these what do you have, metal skin powers or whatever at the end, it was just pointless. It just seemed like it didn't there was no beneficial point to him. There was nothing in the movie that made you say, that's his shining moment. That's why they added him. There goes his moment to shine. He fought Goro and it was a whack fight. Like, he fought him on a farm or whatever. Like, bro, what is this?
Should have been like hell or something. Never mind. The underworld.
Then you have Raiden like down talking to him, and it's like, I mean, I remember Raiden was kind of a jerk in the original movie too, but I mean, he believed in the fighters though. He was pushing them to succeed. So I don't understand that part, but I don't know, man. It just didn't. There was no, everything they changed should have helped the movie be more cohesive or achieve something. There was no achieving anything with the things that they changed or the things that they added. It's a weird thing.
Do you think the sequel will even help it?
I'm hoping they don't make a sequel. I'm hoping that. No, seriously, because I don't want to build upon this whack movie. Like, yeah, it could probably save it with a part 2, but damn, man, when I go and want to watch the whole trilogy and whatever, and I gotta start with part 1, I'm gonna be like, damn it, man, I don't want to watch this garbage.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, I don't want to start from this. This is horrible. This is a horrible start. Horrible start.
So what? In conclusion, what is the review you give it? out of 1 out of 10.
I give it a 3 out of 10. 3. I give it
3
3
for-
because of Cabal. Cabal kind of was really good in the movie because he has that 1930s henchman voice. He said, "Oh yeah, see, I know, Kane. Oh, he owes me some money." He said something crazy like that. He had a crazy accent, like he was from Jersey, and he was about to talk about Rocky 3. So I liked him.
We'll 3 out of 10 in agreement.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And yeah, don't make a sequel, man. Just
Is this supposed to be more? I have no clue, dude. Listen, the lore was non-existent. Let's put it that way.
there was no tournament. Like, bro, the whole point of Mortal Kombat is the tournament. The whole movie, they're talking about the tournament. There's no tournament in the movie. There's no tournament. Shao Kahn broke the rules. Oh, hey, oh, what? Come on, what is this stupid thing, man? I don't think that was stupid. That was stupid. Let's move forward, man. I'm done.
What is this next thing you got here? Let me look at this.
Okay.
Tell me.
Okay.